Thank you, Oz. It's beautiful. Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome. Welcome to South Valley Unitarian Universalist Society, where we celebrate each other's uniqueness and rejoice in our similarities, like our bodies, our humanness, and our zest for life. We are elated to see so many here as we celebrate our new church year with a blessing for our new outdoor surroundings, made possible by the Curb Appeal Committee and you. It makes my heart glad that you will all hear our guest speaker, Jordan Roberts, who brings a message of deep connectedness to, and perhaps question, all that makes us human. And, to our great surprise, a sermon by Reverend Lora, newly returned and refreshed from her sabbatical. My name is Cate MacGillivray. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I am an average-sized white woman with white hair and glasses and a bright blue shawl. It's my privilege to serve as the worship associate this morning's service. I'm happy to announce that Reverend Lora is back from her sabbatical and is our worship leader today. As I mentioned earlier, our guest speaker for this morning's service is Jordan Roberts. Well, we have much to do today, so I'll roll right into announcements. The first is that the yarn bomb on the tree out front was brought to you last May by the Prayer Shawl Committee. It will be removed later this week. First, because it is time, but more symbolically because it has come full circle. The committee's intention was to welcome you with a bit of whimsy and a reminder of your deep connection to your Unitarian Universalist roots. We adorned the tree when Reverend Lora left in May and placed ribbons on it to symbolize the winds of change coming to her and to our community at large. Change is never finite, but our change has reached a new level. Our minister has returned with exciting newness, and we as a community have thrived. Second is that here at South Valley, we have so many ways to connect and extend your Sunday experience. It could be through personal growth with our active book club, or spiritual growth through Prayer Shawl, or by becoming an always needed server for our social hour services. We have a social action committee. We provide meals for homeless teens several times a month. We have a library and so much more. Please check our website and sign up for happenings for more thorough information. There are so many ways to deepen your connection to concerns you are passionate about.
Good morning, church. How are you? It is good to be back among you. I am the Reverend Lora Young. My pronouns are she and her. I am a tall white woman with red hair and purple glasses, and my stole was a gift from this congregation. And I have a very exciting announcement. I'm getting married. Some of you may know that my partner is also named Lora. So this is a picture of Lora for those who are at home, and she is actually also here in the congregation today. And we are just very excited to share that news with you. And I promise you we'll have a reception here at church to celebrate that, even if we're probably not having the wedding here at church, because I don't want to get married. I don't want to get married at work. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. And why don't we do the sharing the warmth of community, taking a time to settle in and to greet one another in love and connection.
You are willing and able. Number 79. This is a new hymn for us. No Number Tallies Nature Up. Just try. That's all we ask. Just try.
for the chalice lighting as you wish.
Let us light our chalice. Those at home are invited to light a chalice. And share in this ritual by entering a chalice's lid at the name of your street in the chat box on Zoom. As we light our chalice, the symbol of our faith and light, of our commitments to love and justice, receive these words of invocation from Side with Love. May we become together the shelter we speak. So we have Abe, who's going to read our chalice words, and Matilda is going to light the chalice.
We light this chalice for the warmth of love, for the light of truth, and for the energy of action, and the flames of resistance.
You may be seated.
Okay, so now it is time for all ages. So we'll have the children come up, find a pillow to sit on, and we'll read a book. All right. Can you all see this beautiful book, the cover?
Yeah.
Can you read what it says?
I am connected.
Oh, what a wonderful bunch of readers. Yes. What about this picture? You can see it up there too. Well, you will in a minute. But what can you describe to me in this picture? Water, mountains, sand, nature, and what? Trees, right. Yeah, beauty. Wow, I love that. Can you see what's over here? Who can tell what that is?
Cutted trees.
It's cutted trees. I like that.
What is ruined?
They're ruined.
No,
But-
ruins.
Okay, we're going to see right here what they actually are. Can you tell what they are here?
Yes, it's actually
Cut up trees. Anybody know what those might be?
It might be stone.
Stones. They're very old totem poles. Have you heard of totem poles before?
Yes, but guess what I do not know what they are. So,
I think they're old because they look worn. Usually totem poles have color and pictures carved into them, and they're very worn out, aren't they? So were they built by the people today, or who were they built by? A long time ago. People from a long, long time ago. But they're still standing as reminders. So here, whoops, I think I got 2 pages. So we are going to find out about this girl with this beautiful black hair and her beautiful wings and the raven. Well, I call them wings. I think they're pretty like wings. She says she is connected, right? And she's walking on the beach. Okay, here we go. I am connected to myself. I love myself. I love me. I tell myself every day when I wake up and every night before I sleep. Whenever I feel unwell, I hug myself tight as I remember my tens of thousands of ancestors who love me no matter what. Who do you love? Do you know people who maybe aren't here anymore, but you've heard stories about? They could be grandparents or cousins.
the pioneers.
Right? Did you have one? Somebody you love that you think about every day?
Well, I have not heard any stories about anyone in my family that's dead, but
Tell it like it is. No, that's really good because that's what we want to do. That's what our story is going to tell us. To tell stories about those people that maybe your parents or grandparents remember. Because there's always some fun stories. Yes.
I think one of my grandpas died.
Mm-hmm. That great grandpa. So he was born a very, very long time ago. But see, she's got all of her family around her. Yes, Ella?
I remember my 2 grandpas that died.
You do remember them. Do you have some stories about them?
No, not really.
Maybe you could ask. I bet there's stories. So she says, I am connected to my ancestors. I often make a spirit plate for them. I take a bit of food from each dish I make and set the plate beside mine. What does it look like she has on her plate?
Tofu.
Tofu? Good girl.
Lettuce.
Carrots and lettuce and maybe salmon.
Fish?
Fish, right, because she lives in a place where there's a lot of fish.
Potato fry? Sweet potato fries?
Oh, sweet potato fries, it could be. It's really hard to tell.
Watermelon.
Watermelon. She has a lot of fruit. She says, I thank my ancestors for looking after me, and then I eat my meal. You can make a spirit plate for your ancestors if you like. What would you include?
Wait, I think the food is salad and carrots and chips and bananas and watermelon and apples and a crab.
I think you're right, a crab, right. Is there something you would put on your plate to share?
Mommy.
Okay.
Smoked salmon.
And you? Cake. Ella would like cake. I think that's a really good idea. Okay, here she says, I am connected to the earth. I stand barefoot on the ground and feel the energy moving into my feet and body. I inhale deeply. How do you inhale? She inhales deeply and smells the cedar, honeysuckle, spruce, and hemlock. Those are trees and flowers where she lives. I feel the thick moss beneath my feet and notice the beautiful big ferns growing beside the huckleberry bush. I am thankful. Are you thankful for things outside in nature?
Yes.
Can you give me a suggestion as to what it would be? Are you thankful for what? For flowers, yeah. Do you have a favorite flower? Do you like them all? You forget because you probably like a lot of them. Yes, Lucas?
I like birds.
You like the birds. And Etla likes?
I like all of the animals.
You like the animals, right.
I don't like any.
And you? Somebody behind you, yep. Right, no. You. Yep, I don't see your name tag, so I don't know your name. Oh, there it is. I couldn't see it. What do you like outside?
I don't have any.
You like to touch things. Well, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Sometimes I spend a long time building sandcastles beside the water and watch the ocean wash it all away. It's okay because I can build another. What do you like to build outside? Go ahead. Just go ahead and shout it out. Go ahead. Yeah. Bug houses. Very cool. Do you ever build like a leaf pile right now? It's about time to start raking leaves and make a big pile.
Yeah.
And what do we build in winter?
Snowballs.
Snowballs and snowmen and snow ladies and snow forts.
Cats.
No dogs.
Snow angels. All right, so we build things outside. I'm connected to the ravens. My mom taught me that we belong to the raven clan because my Naani, which means grandmother, is raven. My dad belongs to the eagle clan because his mother is eagle. When I go for walks, a raven flies overhead and calls out to me. I call back in response. Do you talk to the birds?
Yes.
Yes. Do you ever, what's the kind of bird we hear all the time right now flying overhead?
Pigeons.
Pigeons. There's one that comes out right now that's
Crows.
crows,
Bluebirds.
bluebirds, and geese. Yeah, the geese honk. So you do talk to the birds. I'm connected to our dormant volcano called Jaadee or Toe Hill. I grew up climbing up this I can't see. Climbing him from a young age, long before there was a trail leading people to the top. On a clear day, we can see the mountains in Alaska. Is there a favorite place you like to walk to? And what do you notice along the way? Go ahead. Yes, you.
I see a lot of mountains when I go into the state.
Right? We see a lot of mountains and trees and, Della?
I see a lot of grass and dirt.
Okay, grass and dirt, that's the main thing. That's where we all come from.
Pretty trees.
And pretty trees. I'm connected to Haida Gawi, the land of my people. My grandparents and I were born and raised here. My ancestors were born and raised here too. My mother moved here when she was almost grown up. Where were you born?
I don't. I only my mom and dad know.
You only your parents know? You might ask them.
I was born in a hospital in
You were born in a hospital in Murray. Okay. Etla?
I was born in North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay. How about Lucas?
I was born in Kansas.
Kansas. You were born
In American Fork.
in American Fork. Wow, we were born from all over. It's amazing. And here are the totems to remind us of the ancestors that kept giving birth to new people so that you were here. I'm becoming connected to my granddaughter. I sing nursery rhymes in our language. I speak to her in the Haida language. That's the name of her tribe. I tell her, and I am going to show you these words. It's going to show up on there in a minute because I cannot read this language. Can you read that language? Oh, very good. Right. So there's a lot of languages in our world. Right. The ancestor Mother Earth, the trees, the animals, and all the people, you and me, we are all connected. Are you guys connected? Are you all connected right here? Yes, because we come together at church at South Valley and Salt Lake City. Right. So we're connected. All right. Okay, so now we're going to sing the song that takes you downstairs. We'll have you put your pillows away. This community, our church, and its many ministries are only made possible by the gifts you give of your time, your talent, and your treasure. Many of you pledge monthly to support our work, and for this we are grateful. Your gifts help to ensure that we are able to live our values of love and justice in the world outside. Part of our ministry at South Valley includes sharing our Sunday worship offerings with a charitable organization that aligns with our principles and values. This month it is Utah Community Action, which provides assistance to those experiencing the effects of poverty. Please join me in reading our offertory words. We are this church, we are its hands, its heart, its voice. Together we share the wealth of this community and sustain it with our gifts. We'll now accept the offering. For those of you at home, you're welcome to use the giving link in the online order of service, and I invite the ushers to come forward.
For all we have received and all we have had found the courage to give, may we be truly grateful. May these gifts be a blessing on the many ministries of South Valley and on the work of Utah Community Action. I invite you to extend this time of quiet for a moment more with me and to enter into a time of reflection, meditation, and prayer as is fitting with your internal sense of connection. Spirit of life that whispers to us in the breezes that are coming to us from the far north, bringing us news of the change of the season. May we open our hearts to receive the wisdom that is the passing of the summer into fall and the coming of winter. May we be reminded that this time of harvest is a time of celebration and of plenty. May we rest in that goodness wherever we find it. And Spirit of life, may our hearts continue to open beyond that to those that are not able to share in the bounty of harvest, either because they are restricted by the circumstances of the nation that they are in, or by the personal troubles that are coming across their plate. Help us, Spirit, to be sensitive and to be open with our hearts, our minds, and our hands to help those who are surrounding us in their times of needs. And may we also be willing to be the ones to speak when our hearts are aching and we ourselves are in need, so that we may learn from the generosity of others. Spirit, hear the prayers that are on our hearts and our minds, at our fingertips, and those yet to be known. May our dreams for a better and brighter world be as birdsong, going everywhere and alighting everything. And may we rest our feet on this good green earth and know not only are we already enough, but that we are the ones we have been waiting for. May it be so. All woman. Making sure you're paying attention. I'm going to invite the congregation at the close of service today to participate during the postlude in our ritual of joys and sorrows. I want to respect those small groups and teams that are meeting at the end of service and not impinge on their time, because we have delighted in going slow this morning with our time up here. So I'll remind you during the postlude that you can come forward to this station or the back station and share in that ritual of adding a rock to the water, to hold and to know that every part of you is welcome here and every part of you can be seen. it seems to me that it would be appropriate for me to share a little bit about what I did and did not discover during sabbatical. And this is probably going to take a long time over the course of this season. So today I'll just keep it to just a couple of moments. Terry Tempest Williams wrote that the preservation of wilderness is not so much a political process as a spiritual one. And that made me think about this time that I spent apart from you, where I was literally paid to rest and to rewild. Rewilding is an important and long-standing aspect of our American culture. We deeply admire our poets and our naturalists, our explorers, our people who seek to go to the edges of places and to deeply participate and to report back to us about the wonder and the awe, the beauty and the mystery that is part of our everyday experience. All of us who have been blessed to live in this place, and this place can be this place called Salt Lake Valley, and it can be whatever place you are tuning into virtually. It can be that place that you most treasure as that natural environment. That is the ground of our being. And as I spent my summer walking amongst various different places, my travels took me as far away as Murray and Cottonwood Heights, up into our beautiful mountains here, out to California, to Oregon, to Italy, to London, to Paris, and to Ireland. And one of the things that I noticed, and I did bring my red shoes that you gave me all around, and they're almost falling apart now, I'll have to admit. They got good use this summer. That I discovered that the land everywhere is beautiful. The land everywhere is beautiful. And the land everywhere is sacred. Rest truly is a form of resistance. To have the courage not to numb out from the news, but to step away for a time intentionally in order to rest a weary soul, in order to return to re-engage, is our birthright as humans. There are so many voices available today that say, stay engaged, as in stay overwhelmed. Stay focused on achievement as the primary proof of your worthiness as a human. Stay worried. And sabbatical is one of those opportunities, and I have to tell you, I wish everyone has sabbatical. And if, this empire that we're in falls, that'll be the first thing I'm going to advocate for, is sabbatical for every human being on the planet. Because the power of being able to step away with intention in order to restore and renew is vital for us to be able to fan those flames of resistance that we so desperately need right now in this country. I'd like to offer you that wildness is, in fact, an antidote to authoritarianism. Wildness is the very thing that authoritarian regimes most fear. And that is why they always attack the press, the arts, the culture, the scientists, the people coming into our country who have dared to dream of a better life for themselves and their children and had the gumption to pick up and move thousands of miles over dangerous and treacherous conditions for the hope that they could have a better life. Anyone who has ever dared to question authority, which is everyone, of course, in this room. Anyone who has ever dared to have an original idea, to read a banned book, to express their gender or sexuality however they damn well please, who have dared to speak up and to say, every single person has worth and dignity. That's your wildness peeking through. And we need a lot of wildness right now. As UUs, we've always sought to be the ones who responded to injustice. And often we've got it right, and sometimes we have gotten it very wrong. And the purpose of this faith tradition is to keep moving forward even when we get it wrong. To keep showing up for justice, to keep trying out new things, because we know that arc of history only bends towards justice because we tug on it. Here in this place, we have to hold tight to our wildness, to creativity, to hope, and to justice. Some people link the source of this to God with a big G or God with a little g or no God at all. And in this place, that's part of our wildness, right? Is that you can wildly decide to change your mind over the course of your life. That you can be wildly inspired by many different sources of wisdom and truth. Because you see the through line in all of them. That we really are the ones we've been waiting for. And it is up to us. A year ago, when we still didn't know exactly what we were getting into, because there hadn't yet been an election, I invited you to participate in an idea called the moral imagination. The moral imagination is that aspect of ourselves that trusts the goodness and works to be in that place of compassion and joy. The moral imagination is the imaginative part of us that seeks wonder and joy, that honors the arts and creativity, that knows what justice looks like in public. Here in this community, we choose to have the kind of moral imagination that can see us through what is happening in our nation and can make space to grieve that which is passing. So I return to you from sabbatical with a full and open heart, a rested life, ready to hold and surround you with a love that surpasses understanding, to encourage you to encourage one another, that we will make it through this because we decide to. Which doesn't mean there won't be suffering and difficulty. That we might not have very much control over. But what we do have control over is how we show up for one another. And that's what I'm here for. To encourage you to show up and continue to show up for each other in friendship and in care. And maybe a little bit of wildness. I'll be looking for you to have great costumes at the auction to show me just how wild you really truly can be. Choose with me the wild path. Trust yourself and your community. Choose this community and choose hope, an active hope that builds upon the lessons and the legacies of the congregation that has come before us and the congregation that will follow. Stay wild. Blessed be. And I will see you on the other side of this moment into the next. And I'll be seeking your wildness, and I hope you seek mine as well.
Good morning, church. So, my name is Jordan Roberts, he, him. I'm a slightly bigger than average male, with short brown hair, reddish and graying beard, wearing a black sweater. So I am really excited to be here today. Our theme this month, of course, is our new land. And because it's that magical time of year when the seasons are changing and the veil between the living and the dead is held to be thin, I will also be speaking about the mystery of death and the comforts, both real and imagined, that can be offered by faith. But let me begin by expressing gratitude for Reverend Lora's return and for our tradition of commitment to reason, compassion, and a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. These Unitarian Universalist principles bind us together as a group of friends and truth seekers, absent the traditional dogma or orthodoxy of organized religion. But do you ever feel like we could have more? After all, one of the purposes of traditional organized religion is to bring people comfort when they face the mysteries of life, especially the mystery of death. Ask yourself if these principles bring you comfort when you consider your own mortality. I'm confident that if I were to ask 5 UUs about their views on the afterlife, much like the saying goes about my own people, the Jews, I would get 6 opinions. I would guess that about half of us, myself included, would reject the possibility of a supernatural plane of existence where our conscious souls keep on living after our bodies and brains die. And there would be a great diversity of beliefs among the other half. Some would embrace the more pagan view that we rejoin the earth, our mother, from which we were never truly separate, and that our subjective sense of self was but an illusion during our short human lives. Others among us may believe that we are special, made in the image of God, that the conscious creatures like us are a way for the universe to know itself, and that our uniqueness leaves an indelible impression upon the cosmos. The hope I bring to these words today is that each of us will leave at least a little inspired and with a greater hope when we hear the words, our new land. Maybe even faith that can inspire us to live more intentionally and ethically in the here and now. Now, I'm about to do something that I would normally chafe at. I'm going to read some verses from the Bible out of context and try to lend an air of authority to what I'm going to say next. Now, hopefully by saying that up front, like a magician who tells you that they are about to deceive you and then does so, much to your own delight, you will suspend your disbelief for just a moment. First, 2 passages from the end of Isaiah, the great prophet of the Hebrew Bible, and then 2 passages from the Christian New Testament, including the most well-known tract that deals with the concept of a new earth. Isaiah 65, verses 17 through 19. For I am about to create a new heavens and a new earth. The former things shall not be remembered or come to mind. But be glad and rejoice forever in what I am creating, for I am about to create Jerusalem as a joy and its people as a delight. I will rejoice in Jerusalem and delight in my people. No more shall the sound of weeping be heard in it, or the cry of distress. Isaiah 66, verse 22. For as the new heavens and the new earth which I will make shall remain before me, says the Lord, so shall your descendants and your name remain. Next, 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 10 through 13. But the day of the Lord will come like a thief, and then the heavens will pass away with a loud noise, and the elements will be dissolved with fire, and the earth and everything that is done on it will be disclosed. Since all these things are to be dissolved in this way, what sort of persons ought you to be in leading lives of holiness and godliness, waiting for and hastening the coming of the day of God, because of which the heavens will be set ablaze and dissolved, and the elements will melt with fire? But in accordance with his promise, we wait for the new heavens and the new earth where righteousness is at home. And last, Revelation chapter 21, verses 1 through 7. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. And I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "See, the home of God is among mortals. He will dwell with them. They will be his peoples, and God himself will be with them. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. Death will be no more. Mourning and crying and pain will be no more, for the first things have passed away." And the one who was seated on the throne said, "See, I am making all things new." Also he said, "Write this, for these words are trustworthy and true." Then he said to me, "It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I will give water as a gift from the springs of the water of life. Those who will conquer will inherit these things, and I will be their God, and they will be my children." Whether you were raised in a religious tradition that venerates these scriptures or not, I hope that you could not help but feel a slight stirring of emotion from these words. After all, our own tradition teaches us to respect the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, a statement which carries at least some of the same pathos of these verses. We, like our ancestors, long for the day when we are in right relationship with the earth. And rather than waiting for God to come and make all things new, we embrace our own responsibility to do that work. But historically, we've often acted as if the consequences of our current actions are far off. How do we become better stewards of the new land that we shape and inhabit today? Through mindful consumption, advocacy, community action? Now, I would like you to imagine how much better stewards we would be if we knew that we ourselves, and not just our children or grandchildren, would suffer the consequences of our exploitation of the land. Several years ago, my family spent some time enjoying Bear Lake with friends who belong to the greater macroculture of Utah. And when we remarked on the severely recessed shoreline of that lake to them, their response was, "Well, I'll be dead before I have to worry about that." And mind you, that this was from a man with children and grandchildren who are set to inherit this problem. Unfortunately, this dismissive attitude is common in the greater macroculture. But science increasingly shows us that the immediate and personal impact of our actions is already happening on the environment. Every year, we watch with growing trepidation as the Great Salt Lake and other natural bodies of water drop to dangerously low levels through a combination of drought and excessive consumption. We can draw direct, undeniable relationships between our behavior and this crisis. Increasingly, despite the naysayers, science is inculpating us in the broader ecological crises that we are facing beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now, this realization isn't about fear or guilt or shame, but about empowering responsibility. If we are directly affected, our motivation to act shifts dramatically. The recognition of our immediate responsibility to the planet, the idea that we ourselves in this generation will bear the consequences of our stewardship, brings us face to face with an even deeper, more personal truth: mortality. This confrontation with our own end is the universal human experience. We're the only creatures that know we will die. The ultimate source of what philosophers call existential angst. Our ancestors, and indeed many of our neighbors today, have found solace in answers that transcend the material world. The supernatural soul, resurrection, reincarnation. These religious approaches, whatever their specifics, offer a future beyond this earthly existence, alleviating the fear of total annihilation. But when we turn to a more human-centered and reason-based approach, the answers shift dramatically. The philosophical landscape offers very stark alternatives. We might be tempted toward nihilism, the belief that death and life have no intrinsic meaning. Or we might seek comfort in the self-sufficiency of stoicism, preparing ourselves for the inevitable by focusing only on what we can control. Or, like the Epicureans, we might embrace a form of enlightened hedonism, concluding that since this life is all there is, We should maximize pleasure and minimize suffering. The power of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, especially our fourth principle, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, is that it not only permits, but it demands that we engage honestly with this ultimate mystery. So when we choose a path informed by reason and science, we are not left without spiritual sustenance. Instead, a new and powerful framework emerges: humanism. Humanism does not replace our spiritual depth, it just redirects it. It asserts that meaning isn't found in a world to come, but in the here and now, in our human relationships, in acts of creativity and compassion, in the lasting contributions we make to the world around us. In this worldview, the work of medicine to prolong and comfort life, the relentless pursuit of knowledge through science, and the self-examination of philosophical inquiry are not just pure academic pursuits. They are our fundamental tools for understanding and navigating the human condition, expressions of our highest spiritual striving. Facing mortality can sharpen our appreciation for life's finitude and preciousness, but we can still hope and work for more. My own journey away from supernatural belief towards humanism began before medical school when I worked as a CNA in hospice. I have personally been present at the death of hundreds of people, and it was my job to help people accept the inevitability of their impending death with grace and physical comfort, or at least the absence of suffering. And as a family doctor, this is still an important part of my job. But another part of me hopes and dreams that someday the death of my fellow creatures in pain may not be inevitable. The conviction that meaning is found in life, in human relationships, creativity, and contribution is a powerful one, but it does not mean that we must extinguish the spark of hope for a longer or even a different kind of life after this. Let us dare to dream a new dream of life after death, one born not of ancient prophecy, but of future possibility. Imagine a world where the relentless pursuit of medical science could do more than just add a few years, but could radically and safely lengthen our time here by centuries. Now, you might imagine that advances in biology and cryonics and other emerging complex fields could one day offer not just delayed death, but a form of reanimation or reawakening from a temporary suspension. This isn't supernatural dogma. This is scientific potential. Now, I know that this is a little outside of the normal beliefs in this group and among other people, but I did ask you to suspend your disbelief a little bit. A religion that can inspire hope and faith in such a future, a faith based on action and responsibility rather than passive belief, will be uniquely positioned to influence it. And this is where our Unitarian Universalist principles move from intellectual comfort to profound, essential action. Our second principle, justice, equity, and the compassion in human relations must become our sacred mandate. If such a monumental scientific leap were ever to occur, the critical question for us as UUs must be, who benefits? In the absence of a collective guiding ethical voice, the nightmare scenario is clear. These miracles would be hoarded by the super wealthy, deepening the chasm between the privileged and the vast majority of humanity. Our faith in this context is a commitment to a just and equitable future. Our work in the here and now, advocating for the reinstatement of Obamacare subsidies in the short term and universal health care in the longer term, for fair distribution of resources, for ethical scientific research, is the essential groundwork for ensuring that if and when such radical life extension becomes possible, it is accessible to everyone. As you consider this bold vision, look at the image behind me. Fallen leaves returning to the tree. They symbolize the natural cycle of life, transformation, interconnection, an endless flow of energy and matter. Our hope is that our consciousness, our identity, is not merely dust, but a profound expression of this interconnected web, and that perhaps even beyond our current understanding, science and our commitment to justice can usher in a new land where the deepest human longings for continuing life are fulfilled, not for the few, but for all of us. Our stewardship of the earth, the new land, our humanistic approach to life's finitude, and our hopeful, justice-driven vision for the future are deeply intertwined. Let these ideas inspire us to live with greater purpose, compassion, and a commitment to justice, ensuring a meaningful present and a hopeful future for all. In short, when we act in such a way that the future people and the future planet will love us and find us worthy. I leave you with the words of Norman Cousins, which can be found in the back of your gray hymnal among the responsive readings, number 651, if you want to follow along. I am a single cell in a body of 4 billion cells. The body is humankind. I am a single cell. My needs are individual, but they are not unique. I am interlocked with other human beings and the consequences of our actions, thoughts, and feelings. I will work for human unity and human peace, for a moral order in harmony with the order of the universe. Together, we share the quest for a society of the whole equal to our needs, a society in which we need not live beneath our moral capacity, and in which justice has a real life of its own. We are single cells in a body of 4 billion cells. The body is humankind. Thank you.
We are going to stand, if you wish, to sing the hymn in your gray hymnal, number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth.
Thank you.
We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, the energy of action, or the flames of resistance. We hold each other in our hearts until we meet again. I invite you just to share in a benediction of joy and connection with one another. If you feel so moved to hold out your hand to be held, I encourage you to do that. And if you prefer just to put your hand over your heart, I encourage you that to do as well. And just take a look and see this community of like-minded and like-hearted people. We are together. We are enough, and it is good. May you go forth today encouraged and humbled to walk gently upon the earth, inspired to serve one another with deepest joy. Blessed be, amen. And as you wish during our postlude, if you'd like to come and add a stone to either of our bowls, we encourage you to do that as you wish.